What's up, my friends, and how y'all doing today? I have a piece of sage I picked from out front. It smells just delicious. And when you smell sage, you're smelling the terpenes in the sage. You know, I can't remember if it's eugenol. It wouldn't matter. Several different compounds that are in these different plants, spices, you know. There's various terpenes that they're called, which are essential oils, if you will. Everyone's heard of melaleuca, tea tree oil, as it is. Melaleuca alternifolia. Sage also has its own variety of oil, and then we have things like limonene, which is lemon oil, and a lot of cleaning products smelled like orange. And people don't realize that it's not because it was just a nice smell. It was because the citrus, the terpenes in that citrus were good cleaning agents, and still are. But when you really break it up, it smells so good. So I was thinking earlier just about the connection between all these plants and animals on this earth. It's just an utterly amazing thing that nothing exists without everything else. When one part of the puzzle falls out, it can be filled in by another animal, another plant, another species, but the entirety of an ecosystem within this amazing planet we live, it relies on a very tight organization of behaviors, processes, and it seems like the more I look into it, the deeper you look, the more mysterious it becomes. You know how they say that sometimes you learn too much about a subject and it kind of takes the magic out of it, and a person might think, well, the biology of a body and the way the body reacts to the environment is, it would be more fun to just imagine all these spiritual or mystical processes. But as modern medicine progressed, we started to see that it's not quite that way. They believed at one time, just a couple centuries ago, that cells were just blobs and lifeless masses. Now we know that cells have their own bodies within them, their own structures. That, you know, we have these mitochondria, which have their own ancient DNA, if you will, which produce energy for us with their little ATP production factories, and all of these harmonious contraptions working together. And you can take it down to the molecular level, and that's about as far as you can go. When you take it to the atomic level, we get out of the realm of our real understanding. All we know is that the atoms bond into these molecules, right? And for some reason, certain atoms have affinities for others. And the idea is that the electrons are lost or gained, and they bond through these electron clouds and changing orbit, whatever. None of that matters in the big picture here, because what we're talking about is after these atoms are attracted in molecules, they further arrange into a variety of different these molecules are used like little tools by our body, and our cells work as these little energy factories. And just within the human body, there's so much stuff going on. And if you extend this outside into the world around you and all the other individual animals, and then you extend it into the plant kingdom, which is producing ATP as well, but they're doing it through photosynthesis, totally different method, same result. Then you can look at the animals. You can look at convergent evolution, is what they call it, when animals seem to evolve the same pattern, even though they live in totally different places. And all of it brings more amazement out, makes things just even more amazing. It doesn't take the magic away. It helps to add a little bit of magic to it by really understanding that every one of your organs is like its own little community. Even within that organ, there are various communities working. And not just your own cells, but bacteria. And I'm pretty sure that in the future we're going to find that viruses are utilized in ways we don't understand. Viruses have grown right alongside us. They've evolved with us. They can't produce their own DNA, so they hijack our cells and have them produce DNA. But the thing that's interesting about a virus is that it's not alive. It's not considered a living. It doesn't have it's not a cell, per se. So how do viruses act? How do they even know what to do? They're programmed to do something, but why? Why does anything exist? I mean, that's why it's amazing to me. All the different connections between the people within an individual, and then you extend that out to the dirt, to the trees, to the plants, to the forest, and you can just be blown away by everything you see, and then look down and not even see the mycelium under your feet, which I believe that there's several miles of mycelium in 1 cubic centimeter of dirt. There are trillions and trillions of miles of mycelium that are transporting things back and forth between the trees. I saw this one forest where they said that up to 80% of the nitrogen was nitrogen-15 in these particular trees in this forest, and that nitrogen-15 comes only from the sea. So this was a place where the bears would carry the salmon up into the woods and eat the good parts, leave the rest to rot. This means that the trees got 85% of their growth directly from the ocean due to the process of these fish carried by these bears. And if you look at the growth rings, you can see how they've slowed down growth in recent years because of the difference in salmon runs, and how tightly everything is really affected by one another. Even a few degrees of temperature rise in the oceans can just completely devastate everything. You know, algae blooms. A little bit more warmth can release the methane off the bottom of the ocean. It's a crazy universe, crazy world. I love looking at all the different connections between everything. I think it's something that, I don't know, something that we need to do more often, because it takes the burden off of the bigger picture. You don't have to worry about the trivial things in life that you think are so important that really aren't. At least that's my opinion. I think that it's important that we let go of our shallow notions of what's important in life, but give each other enough respect to realize that we have to create something that's important, because life is pretty damn crazy in itself. So, peace out, namaste, and all that stuff, and I'll talk to you later.